Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Connie, for joining me today and just telling me a little bit about your experience so that I can share that with, members in the group. Why don't you just start by telling me a little bit about yourself, what you do during the day, where you live, and maybe how you were feeling when you first came to the group, for example.
Let's see. About me, married 37 years to a wonderful man who supports me in a lot of things and has seen me try this journey several times without success. So he's still there for me. We live in a very, very small, it's actually a village in Ohio. And we have 3 traffic lights, 2 of which turn off at night, and no fast food restaurants. So that has been a help. A lot. I have to travel quite a ways to get that junk food, so to speak. And I think before I started this program, and what made me reach out and find a program was the fact that we had been sent to work from home due to COVID. And before that, I was in an office and I was always up and walking around and talking to people. And I was on all kinds of committees. And then we got sent home. And in that year and a half, I gained 20 pounds. And it hit me. I'm at my highest weight. I feel like crap. I don't want to go back in the office. I don't want anybody to see me. And I would work all day here at home, walk out to the living room, and that was it. My day was done. My husband works nights. I was here alone. And I knew something had to change. Definitely something had to change.
Yeah, yeah. And so you joined the group, and then I would have reached out to you because I do try to reach out to everybody, and just see, what are you working on? Is there something that I can help you with? You must have felt like, who is this person? Or do you remember any of that? Like feeling kind of fear or, the unknown in terms of who I was or how I could help you?
Absolutely,
Curious.
because I have tried different things, whether it was going to that weekly meeting or it was going to, even to check in at a doctor once a month. I have tried that support. I have battled weight problems my whole life. I can just remember. And I realized, at 57, obviously the route I was taking was not working. Something wasn't clicking. And I thought there has to be something I'm missing, something I need to be doing that I'm not. And so I started listening to podcast, which was something new for me, and I'm sitting here at work listening to podcast. Started finding groups on Facebook that had to do with weight loss and realized that it just had to be something different. It's not just all about the food and the exercise. Eat less, move more, eat less, move more. There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
So what am I missing? How can I do that? Am I strong enough to do something else? And they all seem to have the common theme of it's mental. You have to be in the right mental state. You have to realize why you're doing the things you're doing for it to work. And I've always believed that in my work, in anything I do, I want to know why I'm doing it. So, joining your Facebook group was the first thing for me in meeting you. And then I saw postings about groups or coaching, and I'm like, why not? I need to try something. And I think a lot of, why I failed before was just out of my mind. It wasn't even going to be part of this. And when I met you and I talked to you and you said a few key things to me, like, you were taking notes while we were talking. And I thought, wow, she's really listening to me. And one of the things I said to you was, I don't know if I can live without sandwiches. And you're like, you don't have to give up sandwiches. You don't have to give up bread. And I'm like, well, I don't have to go without carbs. No, you can still eat real food. And I'm like, wow, okay, maybe I can do this. And then the longer we talked, I think that you were filling that gap for me, and you were getting to the point that this was going to be for me. And I know your program is going to work for everyone, but the way you presented it and the way that it worked for me all 12 weeks, I always felt like I was your only one and you were doing this for me. And it it really did feel like you knew what I needed, you knew what I needed to hear, and you knew when you needed to step in and say, hey, get some more protein in there.
Mhm.
And it just, I just can't speak enough about how good that made me feel, that it was
Mhm.
not just a, let's get together and meet and this is how everybody's going to do it. I always just felt like it was for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't take on a lot of clients, Connie, so I want to be able to provide that kind of support. So, I mean, yeah, thank you for saying that because it makes me want to get a little bit emotional actually, because I do really care. So tell us about what your results were in the program.
So I had started, when I started listening to the podcast and the Facebook groups, obviously being as big as I am, any change in my diet, I started losing a little bit, but I knew I couldn't, something what had to happen. So when I met you and started on your program through today, I'm actually down 37 pounds.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yes.
Wow.
And it has not
Fantastic.
been, straight down. It has
Yeah.
been up and down a little bit and up and down a little bit, but 37 pounds feels really good. And the
Yeah.
confidence that that has given me and the tools you've given me and the insight, it's life changing for me. For me, it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
And
some of the things that you've implemented, Connie, like, yeah, it just sounds like these are this, it sounds like you've been doing it for a long time, right? You're like an old pro at some things. Yeah,
yeah,
fantastic.
it's the habits, the water. And,
Mhm.
I was talking to you about my son being over for dinner the other night and he's going through the fridge looking for something to drink. And he's like, what are you drinking? And I'm like, water. Water. There's a Keurig if you want
There you
coffee or
go.
tea, but water. Sorry, that stuff's just not in the house anymore. All that's gone. So,
That's amazing. Yeah,
join the
so,
water club.
and think of the impact, like, even with your husband, you said how much he's enjoying the recipes and that you're creating too.
Yeah.
And think of the impact on him. But I know he didn't have weight to lose, but I still think from a health perspective, it's going to be good, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. Anything specifically that you loved about the program or that added the most value for you?
I think for me, financially, it was a big step for me. I was really hesitant. And um, again, things that you said were, I have to start valuing myself. And I knew what I had put out over the years, whether it was a new pill or a new supplement or a new plan or whatever. I'm spending that money anyway. I really was. Not to mention all the junk food I was buying that I wouldn't need anymore. So healthy food really is affordable. It was a big step for me, but I just, the plan was so simple, yet I needed to hear it and I needed to hear it directly. Here's step A, here's step B, here's what you're going to change.
Mm,
Let's try implementing this week. It wasn't just all thrown at me, and like I said before, it was explained very well. This is why we need to do it. This is how it will help you. And if anybody would have told me I wouldn't have Diet Mountain Dew in my life, I would have told them they were crazy, because I was easily a 2 liter a day. And now I'm like, I can't even imagine drinking it, I
yeah,
just
yeah,
can't. So those little tweaks, those little things. And once I got over that hump and once I started seeing results, it got easier and easier to follow the program. And even, of course, my kids see me. Well, my son sees me. My daughter hasn't seen me yet. She doesn't know I'm losing weight. So I'm very excited to see her in the
yes,
holidays. But my son, when we were sitting there eating the other night, he's like, you can have this food. You can eat this. I'm like, yeah, I can. I can eat
yeah,
this. I can eat
yeah,
this lo mein and I can eat these Odom noodles. And yeah, I can.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
was just impressed with that. And I was like, yeah, it's real food. We all eat it. So
yeah. There's no
good
good
stuff.
food or bad food, really. It's just,
The
yeah,
right
how
stuff.
much you have. Right,
Yep.
right. Oh, so I'm just so happy that you had good success and that you've taken it away and really integrated it. Because I think I did talk to you at the very beginning that we want to take these small steps along the way, and they're not going to become habits yet, but at some point along your journey, I want them to just become who you are and what you do. And so you've integrated them quite quickly, really. If we look at, getting rid of, it takes a long time to get rid of some old habits, and it usually takes a long time to really instill these good habits. So I'm just so proud and impressed.
Aw,
Um,
thank you.
so if anybody was considering, joining the program, working with me in some way, any advice that you would give them from where you came from?
I would say to have an open mind and listen, really listen to what you're saying. It's it's not the same that you get elsewhere. It's not I don't feel that it's a cookie cutter type of program. I just think that somebody has to be open-minded and willing to take those first steps.
Yeah.
And once you see the changes, once you feel the changes, like
Mhm.
just physically feel the difference, you just have no doubt, just no doubt. But
Yeah.
yeah, taking that first step is the hardest. And it was the
Mhm.
hardest by far. After that, when things started falling in place, it's been amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Anything else you want to add then, Connie?
I actually left the house the other day without my little step tracker on, and I was 20 minutes away, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? I don't know my steps today. And I'm like, it's okay, Connie. It's okay. One day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
One
so
day. It's
good.
okay.
Yeah, you got to give yourself compassion in those days too, right? Even if it's one day of something else.
Yep.
But yeah, just do it the next day. Yeah.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
job.
I come right home and got it on. I still got on the treadmill that night, but I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
getting credit for any of these shopping steps. Dang it.
Darn. Well, thank you so much, Connie.
You're
I'll,
welcome. It has been a pleasure to be on this program, and I don't even want to call it a diet. It was a program and it worked. So thank you.
awesome. Thanks.